saw something out of the corner of my eye like a shadow. And then the inside of my arm got real cold. And then I realized, oh God, something's touching me.
Orange, Massachusetts. This is where Michelle, a single mother, met and fell in love with a man named Hervé. The two were quickly married and planned to start a family.
My name is Michelle Millette. Hervé's my husband. He is a loving, hardworking family man. Our daughter, Brianna, she's a twinkle in the eye. Jonathan is our youngest son. And Tiffany is my daughter from a previous relationship. For 14 years, it was just pretty much me and her.
She was like my best friend. When Hervé came, it was like the next chapter in our lives. I was excited.
The first night I met Michelle, we just clicked. We read each other's minds and feelings, and we just bonded really well.
It was a comfortable relationship right off the bat. We were meant to be together. We have a dog, Boston. He's a black lab pit mix. He was a Spitfire puppy. I wouldn't trade him like I wouldn't trade my own kids. We started looking for a home when we had Brianna. After several attempts, we found an older home. Something about the house was just comforting.
The day we moved in, I think everybody was happy and excited.
Everything just fit into place. It was like the house was built for us. It truly was a sign that this was meant to be. The previous owner had left a letter for us, welcoming us to the new home. I remember reading it out loud with Hervé and Tiffany standing there. It gave me chills. This house has witnessed many births and the deaths of loved family members. If you hear any strange noises, it's just the essences of those welcoming you to a new chapter in your life.
We kind of looked at each other like, is this for real?
The hairs stood up on the back of my neck. It had a creepy factor to it. Shortly after we moved into the house, I started to notice a difference in our dog, Boston. He would just bark, this deep-toned, growly, protective bark. And he would just bark into air, not really at anything.
And I tell him to stop, and he continued. I just figured that it was no big deal. So the dog's barking. It's a dog, it's gonna bark.
After that, I started noticing just shadows out of the corner of my eye. Turning and looking, and there was nothing there.
I've heard footsteps up the stairs, up and down. I've seen shadows and the lights flickering.
Anytime something happened, I would think back instantly to that letter. Maybe I'm making this stuff up in my head, because I've read the letter.
My name is Carla. I am Hervey and Michelle's sister-in-law. I've known them for 13 years. Michelle was very scared to admit what she was seeing. She didn't want people to think she was crazy.
When I told Hervey about these things, he was so skeptical. He thought, it can't be anything.
At first, I thought she was going out of her mind. And I was like, yeah, okay. Kind of ignoring it. Like, it'll go away.
I started to doubt myself. Maybe it was all in my own mind. I just kept going back to that letter because I thought, okay, well, then this is something that's been going on in the house, so it's not just us.
My little sister, Brianna, we talk about makeup and dolls and all kinds of stuff. One day when I was babysitting, and she was talking, and I went over and asked her who she was talking to, and she said, my friend. And I said, you know, what's her name? She told me her friend's name was Maggie. And I said, what does she look like? And she told me she had boo-boos on her face. Then she was like talking about a car and like making screeching noises. When my mom came home that day, I told her what Brianna had said, and she was kind of like stunned by it.
The scary part for me was that Brianna described the boo-boos on her face. I worked as a family advocate for 10 years and spent a lot of time with children from 0 to 3, and I have not seen that behavior before.
Kids play with their imaginary friends. I just figured that, you know, it was no big deal.
Children typically will play with invisible friends, but not children with boo-boos on their face. I think we were hoping that she would grow out of it, and if we didn't feed into it, that maybe it would go away on its own. But it didn't. Myself and my husband Hervey were on the couch. Brianna was playing, and she brought over her baby doll. She said, "Mommy, you need to clean my baby. You need to clean her eyes. They're bleeding. You need to clean them. They're all bleeding."
I was like, wow.
Where did she learn that from?
That's something you would see from a movie or something like that. We don't watch movies like that in front of her.
I think as a parent, you wonder what's going on in your child's head. What is my child seeing? She was playing with a little girl that had boo-boos on her face, and now she's handing me a doll that's bleeding from the eyes. I started to get really concerned. Is this something that's going to happen for the rest of her life? Or is she going to grow out of it?